Hi, this is Julie at Love's Beginning with a blog post called Looking Through Separation to Wholeness. We invite you to look at fixed perception of bodies today. Notice how you give bodies meaning, significance, and value. You give them separate meaning. You give them separate significance and value. You give them separate meaning. You give them separate significance. You give them separate value. Now hear this. While the experience of the body seems very real, it is a projection of thought and nothing more. Bodies are a means of perceiving separately, and they are a means of experiencing pain and suffering because the illusion of separation seems so real. Pain is not real, but it is a very realistic illusion. Suffering is not real, but it is a very realistic illusion. The special effects are great here, but they are only special effects. Once you turn the entirety of your experience over for healing, however, the bodies begin to serve. They communicate the truth. That is all. The illusory needs of the body are met with ease as long as they are perceived, but the body itself has no significance. It can be used as a teaching aid, but its use in this manner depends upon your surrender to what you are. That means that you willingly give up all worry, concern, and control over the body because you see through those impulses right now. They are a hanging on to separation perception. So you give those up simply because they are not needed, and then the body is used by the oneness we are to share the good news of your joint innocence, purity, and abundance with all others. You are waking up from being under a delusion of your choosing. It's very important to realize that you chose it so you understand that you are not victim to it or anything that seems to be part of it. You chose, and you can choose again. The power has always been yours, although you chose to have the experience of powerlessness. It was only ever the decision to experience an opposite that cannot truly exist. There is no one to blame and no blame for you. Feel the strife of the temptation to find blame. Look at why you try to place blame somewhere. Let the idea of blame arise. What is it? It's responsibility. When you try to blame another, you try to give your responsibility, your ability to respond, your power, away. You try to place it outside your perceived separate self, only there is nothing outside of yourself. When you blame what seems to be your separate self, you are looking at your ability to respond, your power, as if it is punishment and condemnation. Ego will tell you that you deserve punishment when you have an opportunity to extend love. What you are is vast, joyful peace. Because you are the stillness itself, there is nothing to strive for, although in the world you see with physical eyes, it seems striving is necessary. The world seems to exist because you made the choice for the experience of strife and struggle, even though strife and struggle is not actually possible. Through thought, you can believe that you are engaged in strife and struggle. This is all that is possible. Think of what you cherish. Think of what you hold dear. If you view these things as separate possessions that you can lose, whether it's an object, a relationship, or a perceived separate life, you are choosing pain when you cherish these things as separate entities. There is nothing particular in this world to value. If you value any one separate thing over and above any other separate thing, you are choosing to stay lost in pain and suffering. You are choosing to stay in a world that must include pain and suffering as a polarity. At this point, what do? Do you just stop valuing particular entities viewed as separate things right now? This is the time to remember that an ego doesn't do this. Rather, notice that you are in the middle of this process now. You will stop valuing the valueless, and you will come to appreciate the wholeness of all that is. When you value that wholeness above all else, it is clear to you that valuing particulars is not actually possible. You will stop judging. You will stop attempting what has never been possible. When you understand that this process is ongoing right now and you surrender to it, you seem to release faster. You are allowing the perceived need for time to collapse. What is of value is foundational, and what will take care of all things is foundational. Love is the foundation of everything, always there, always thriving, ever expanding eternally, no matter what you are choosing to experience right now. Always remember the foundation, not the delusion. The delusion is what you use intentionally to block the awareness of the safe foundation. Now that you can see what you do, you can allow it to fade away. When you are not valuing form, you are able to release dysfunction. It is a great joy to us that we can speak of delusion to you, and you will see delusion as delusion. Even if you go right back to valuing form, you cannot unsee what you have seen. You will not be able to sustain this experience of valuing form, and that is a very good thing for all. It is our joy to serve you as you remember how to serve all and to find your joy in that service. And if you would like a practice, this is practice 34. Let me see what is valuable. In all situations, the intention to see what is valuable will serve you and all others. When you see what is valuable, you can release attachment to any concepts that are not necessary. When you can keep a clear mind, it is easy to follow the guidance of the self you are because it can flow through that openness without being blocked. All tension, all unhappiness, all negative emotion comes from these blocks that you set up intentionally to protect separation perception. You must feel bad in order to maintain separation perception. It's a rule. When you are no longer willing to sustain this delusional state, it must fall apart. Begin a 3-minute meditation with, "Let me see what is valuable." Imagine that you are descending into what you are, releasing any concepts you don't need as you travel from separation perception to abiding as the wholeness of all. Ask to be shown what is valuable. Ask to be guided today in releasing all that lacks value. If anything arises to disturb your peace, remind yourself of your intention. Let me see what is valuable. Today, with focus and intention, you can make great strides in letting go of what is not needed in order to allow what is to emerge in your sight. When you keep your focus here, you accept the help that is available to you at all times. Because what you are can never be separate from what anyone else is. You help all when you remember your willingness to see things as they are. End by affirming your readiness. Let me see what is valuable. Step forward into your day knowing that every situation you find yourself in, every feeling you have, every thought you notice will be used on behalf of collective healing. While form itself is not at all important, the healing that you allow to take place while you still believe in form is. Allow that healing today. Allow your perception to shift. If anything disturbs you today, remember the opportunity you have. Let me see what is valuable. Today is truly a day of dropping burdens, and if you see how to allow that, others around you will have a much easier time. Serve all by making your healing your top priority, and you can share that healing. Thanks for listening.